What are the risks in buying tax lien certificates? Before you just dive in and start buying tax lien certificates, it's critical you understand the pros, but the cons. There are 8 very distinct mistakes that beginning and novice investors make on a regular basis. And we're going to cover all these. And stick around the end. Once you get done with these 8, you'll be confident that you know whether this is the right or the wrong investment for you and your family. So stick around. So number 1, buying tax lien certificates is extremely lucrative. You've heard me say this before. If you can find a safer and more lucrative investment opportunity than tax lien certificates that offer you double-digit returns that's legal, I'll drop what I'm doing and start that. In 29 years, I've never seen it before. And understand that although tax lien certificates have been available for well over 200 years, longer than we've been a country, there's still some risk factors. You don't want to go out there and just buy a tax lien certificate because it's available. Remember, what makes it so safe is 2 different things. You've got state law. So the state mandates the interest rate. And that interest rate is going to be varying between 10% on the low side up to 36% on the high side. That's right. And that's mandated by law. But the security comes from the underlying asset, the real estate. So in other words, if I'm buying a tax lien certificate for $2,000 that's paying me 18%, I better hope that underlying property has got some value. Because if that property owner doesn't come into the county within a prescribed amount of time to pay that, you end up with the property, and it better be one you want. Number 2, tax liens are sold by municipalities, not by the state, not by the federal government, it's by the county. So the county treasurer is going to say after you've been delinquent 1 year minimum, then they can offer the tax lien certificates up to the public. That's you and that's me. So that's where the due diligence starts. So once that list comes out, which is approximately 1 month before the sale, now the due diligence starts. You want to find out what tax liens are available, what they're available on, how much the value of the tax lien certificate is, and what ratio is that to the property. If I'm more than 10% of the value of the property, I'm probably going to stay away from it. Something's going on. Why is there so much taxes due on this property? Again, when I'm evaluating 12,000, 15,000, 20,000, sometimes even 50,000 tax lien certificates, I want to create a short list as quickly as possible. Okay, number 3, you've got to look at the rules and the regulations. Okay, look at it. These are state mandated and those are the rules. But how the county that you're in particularly interprets those rules will determine how the sale is going to go, what forms are going to be need to fill out. You can't just go willy-nilly in there and make something happen. Because Willie and Nilly left town and you don't want them hanging out with you, okay? So you want to know the rules. Go to the website, the county's website, look at the FAQs. What are the frequently asked questions? What is the redemption period? Are there any specific paperwork that needs to be filed during the redemption period? Gosh, there are some states out there that if you miss deadlines, you're out. Your money's out, okay? You've lost your money. Okay, so you want to make sure you know what that is. And beyond that, what are the rules and regulations around the foreclosure process, which we'll also talk about. But is key to how does the county handle this? When is the sale conducted? What is necessary to show up for the sale? So if I'm bidding, do they need my bidder number? Does that require a tax ID number? Can it be my LLC? Do I have to be a proxy bidder for my LLC? So there's a whole gambit of things that you need to be aware of before you even go to the sale. Now here's an area, number 4, which is competition. People always get all whacked. Please do not let past competition dictate what's happening in the future. I don't know how many of you have been to any kind of an auction before, but there could be 50 people at an auction and the average is 4 to 6%. So you're looking at anywhere from 2 to 5 people that are actually participating in the sale. The one thing I don't do at a sale is try to learn. I'm not trying to figure out what's going on. You better have done that before you go to the sale. That's how you are prepared. The other thing I don't do is bring a bunch of paperwork for me. If I have a list of liens that I want to participate in, that's the only information I have. what lien it is, and how much I'm willing to pay for that. End of story. I don't chit chat with the people around me because it can distract you, and I've seen it happen before where somebody lost a property because they were paying attention to something else and somebody else got that property. They didn't even realize it was up for sale. And don't get fancy. Okay, look it. When you're out there bidding, don't get some iPad, electronic, whatever. Give yourself some time in there, meaning, in other words, you're going to have it all written out. I had somebody do this years ago. They were going to bring an iPad in there. As things went up for sale, they would delete them. What they were doing is deleting the wrong column. And so they had nothing to go back on. So I keep it simple. I even go down to 3x5 cards in some sales. And once it goes up, it goes in my back pocket. Keep it simple. Number 5, due diligence. Know your market. What is the economic factor? What's driving that particular economy? What's the average price of the homes in that area? How quickly are properties selling for? What's the average age of people living in that area? Yeah, it's important. I want to know how many people are renting, how many people are buying. All of these factors are important. I was once looking at a market and I noticed that over 54% of the people there were younger, less than 46 years old, and about 64% were married. And I realized, I go, wait a second, something's going on here. It immediately caught my attention. I realized, wait a second, there's a military base by. Probably a heavy rental area. So these type of factors, do your due diligence, not just on the property, but on the local economy. Find out what makes that particular market tick. Number 6, redemption period. Okay, make sure you understand what that means. Okay, so for instance, there are some redemption periods that require you to start the foreclosure before the end of the redemption period. So do I just buy the lien and forget about it? Well, maybe in some cases. Some cases say, yeah, you can, but on certain dates throughout the next 2 years, you have to have filed certain paperwork. So make sure you understand exactly what that means. What does it mean by the end of the redemption period? Who forecloses on the property? Do you foreclose on the property, or does the county foreclose on the property? If you foreclose on the property, you better have found a competent law firm that specializes in this area. I don't want to find a divorce attorney to help me with a tax lien certificate sale on a piece of property. I want a real estate attorney. How much is that going to cost? What is the time frame? What type of deed am I issued, and how long to clear the title on it? These are all super important things that a lot of people will overlook. Now, number 7, this is the bonus, foreclosure. So when you get to that foreclosure process at the end of the redemption period, what is the process? And have something that's going to notify you of this. I don't want to know about the foreclosure because the county had to notify me. They're not going to. They've already got their money. So you have to have it in your calendar that at these dates, these are going to happen. Now, this is a rule of thumb. I have found that if a property has not redeemed in the first 4 to 5 months, typically, not a fact, typically it will go the duration of the redemption period. So you can go ahead and put that in there, okay, and say, okay, if this is going to redemption, it's going to go in here maybe 9 months later or whatever that case is. I need to make sure that I contact the attorneys to start the foreclosure process. What's that going to cost? How long is it going to take? And all that good stuff. Remember, just because you go into foreclosure doesn't mean you're getting the property yet. You're just going through the foreclosure. They still have that opportunity to redeem. And I'm okay with that. Right up to that end. Look at, we're buying them time and anything they need to make that happen. Either way, it's a win-win. Number 8, not last, but very important. Consider the time implications of you doing all this. What are the factors that you need to make happen? Now, I don't care what anybody does. When you invest in tax liens and tax deeds, you can't make this a full-time job to a certain extent. I mean, I've had some hedge fund people that I've trained how to do this, and they make it into a full-time. But for normal people like you and I, we're going out there, we're trying to make 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever that type of deal is. You don't need to do that. You don't need to make this a full-time, but you have to be on point. Because it's not part of your regular schedule, you have to allocate the time within your calendar. So those are non-negotiables. Maybe it's going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays or Saturday mornings, whatever that is. You have to schedule that time as if it's a doctor's appointment, as if it's something your employer is doing, something that's non-negotiable. That's what you're doing during those times. That's what's going to kick this can down the road. That's what's going to make it successful. And that's what's going to make you a successful tax lien investor. It's developing the right habits to make sure this is a consistent business. Now, one other little bonus on this, okay? It's consistency. You have to have consistency in this. If you just follow a method that we outline here and you're consistent, you will get the positive results. In fact, I've got a brand new training that I just put together on exactly how to put the right habits together to be successful, to provide you and your family with financial independence. All you have to do is click the link down below. It's a webinar that I personally just put out. It's higginsmethod.com. Register, and it's my gift to you. Thank you, good luck, and God bless.